Uno, dos, tres, probando. Quiero ver si estoy grabando. Okay, so hello guys. I wanted to make my own tier list to make my own opinions. Thanks to now that tomorrow the manga booster is coming out on the client, I wanted to give my opinion on some of the decks that I think that are actually like relevant. Like all of this, I don't think it will be that relevant. I'm obviously open to be wrong. But I think that these are the decks that people expect to talk about when they see one of these tier list videos. And I want to start with my opinion of how's the meta probably going to look like and what are the decks to beat. So, start of everything, I would like to say that most probably the deck that you should be aiming to be beating is Cyan Blue Vegeta. I think that this is the best deck in the game, probably right now before ban list. We will see after the ban list. I know some people say that this deck, Kid Buu, will be able to just destroy Vegeta, but I think that the Vegeta players can actually play around their stuff. Maybe don't rely too much on the extras, and they can always be aggressive with their extras instead of defensive as they usually do. I think like you can be more aggressive maybe in this matchup, but you definitely can play around the fact that you're going to get your energies rested. So, what are the decks that I think that probably will contest Vegeta? Of course, I just talked about him. I think this meta it's probably going to look like pick your favorite yellow leader. I think that's a surprise for mostly no one. I think all of these decks are really strong. I think some of them are stronger than others. I personally think that Majin Buu is not as strong as the other two Buus because Majin Buu lost Babidi, which is like probably the most important piece of the deck, which made him being able to pressure from an empty board into two 30k swings that are extremely strong. They are taking two cards from your hand. If you get discarded also from Babidi, you were taking one more. That's four cards just from that. They can also swing with Babidi. They can also swing twice with the leader. It's just an insane card economy for an empty board. So now that that got removed from the game basically because at one it's just going to happen once if it is going to happen. I don't think he's as strong as the other decks because these use the tools that now Boo got much better. For example, this deck, I feel like it's insanely strong because it's going to be able to put the famous barrier blockers while they are also stunning your board at the end of the turn with the stage. Also, most of the time, I think the new Kid Buu is going to be really good, as everyone has said, because just being able to freeze something, it's insane for a leader, like just being able to freeze for basically free. It's like you are having a constant fork drop Goku, which we all probably know how good that card is. And it's also with no hand cost, with no combo loss, and you can't get removed. You can't remove the leader effect. So that sounds extremely strong in in my side. So I think still Vegeta is basically the boogeyman here. I think the beta will be contested by these three. This one I don't have as much faith as I have in these both. And Vegeta is insane. The fact that he can also use the stupid Babi the barrier boo blockers, it's insane. Like he can also just switch their one cost for the new one cost that Yellow got, the Magins. And they can be made blockers. Where are you? I think it's in this page. Yeah, they can just use. Oh my god. Oh, well, you know which card I'm talking about? The one, this one. Okay, they can just use this instead of Frieza, give it blocker, and just be annoying. Like they can now contest cantrips. I played this. I rest their cantrip, hit into the cantrip, play Babidi. Now it's a blocker. It's annoying for some decks to deal with. For others, it's not as much. But still, like this deck will be the king of starving. So what decks I think are going to be the best against them? I think Janemba might coming to a resurgence because Janemba is really strong against yellow decks because he can play really well the starve each other game because he will always be able to awaken, start resting your stuff, and negate your card advantage. Because he can always rest your stuff, he can always, like, if it's not the barrier book, he can always rest it, and he can use most of the tools that these guys have while also being amazing in the energy economy side because he can just play basically a card for free every turn. So yes, that's very strong in my mind and really good for yellow mirrors. So, World Tournament Goku. I have high faith in this deck. I think like they will be among the best decks what did we have because I feel like the deck is really strong on the aggro side of things. It's like a mix of mid-range and aggro because he gets to play a lot of good extras now that are removal, are stuns, and he gets insane hand sizes where they are not running a lot of useful, like they are not running dead cards like before. Like before you were pressed to actually play Nam, which is by no means a bad card, but it's not actually like a good card. Now you have that 3 cost Goku that you just can fix your hand in one swing, and he also self-awakens, so does what the deck wants to do in both sides. So he draws you a lot, and he also is able to actually fix your hand, self-awaken, and he just pushes you into your win condition. Here you are. I was lost. This card is just very insane. Most of the time when I'm testing this deck and when I've tested, the hardest part of using this card is actually knowing what you have to discard because every card in this deck is now good. Like I think Ape might be the weakest addition to the deck, which is saying something because this is basically Glorio. And I find myself mostly discarding this guy. I actually think the deck might deviate into playing the 6-drop Vegito because Vegito actually helps decks like Haloku who used to like get really close to decking out while giving you a win condition of a 50-50 swing. And when I tested World Tournament, being worried about decking out is actually pretty common. So I think this deck needs to get optimized, but I have high fates on this deck. The other high fate deck that I have, it's Green Vegeta. They can, I'm just going to name this for really second. I have faith on it. Faith on it. So basically, these are decks that can actually beat this. This is like decks that I feel that they can be really good, and these are decks that may get wins here and there. So Vegeta. Vegeta actually feels super strong this set. Like this card, it's insane. This is one of the most insane cards that I've seen printed on this game. Like just being able to cheat basically 6 energy on one swing is insane. He also replaced himself in hand and he placed your big bodies. This card, it's kinda, I mean, this card reads amazing, but most of the time you don't even need it. Like the amount of aggro that this deck now gained is super insane. Also, he has the new design that Bandai has been doing, which I like a lot, which is giving aggro decks when attacking take a life. I like that a lot because that makes possible to get counterplay and being able to start the aggro decks. Because, for example, Boo, of course, Super Boo, what he used to do was like just play a bunch of things that take your life and not swing with them. So you were forced or from either dropping from your hand cards. Sorry, I meant like not attacking the leader and losing on hand economy because you're not drawing a card and he is discarding you and you're giving him his win condition, which is self-awaken, and you couldn't do anything about it. While he also was negating your awakening with Janemba and the one drop freezer. Now these cards, most of them say when attacking, take 1 life, which is really good because makes you able to actually start the aggro decks if they want to be super aggro, because they attack you, they take more lives, but also that means that you can just attack the body that they just played instead of the leader, so you're not giving him the thing that they want the most. And also makes up for like, okay, this is one life that I'm taking the turn it gets. If I'm able to defend it, or if my opponent didn't remove it, you actually get punished because he's taking two lives from the same card. I like a lot that design. I believe that's very good from Bandai. I hope they do more cards like this and this. This also takes a card when he swings. My internet is awesome right now. And also, this Napa searcher is completely insane. He basically searches for the whole deck. Like, once 5 or less costs Saiyan and one grade 8 Vegeta. This searcher lets you play the Goku Black from the Giblet deck. So you can actually have removal instead of playing this very conditional thing, which it's really good, but I don't like it personally because some top end it's not Saiyan, but most of it is Saiyan. So it's fair enough. So I have a lot of faith in Vegeta. Vegeta seems to be doing some insane turns where he just awakens, he's going to play Raditz, he's going to play a body from Raditz, he's going to break an energy, he's going to play Nappa. Nappa can swing because you're probably playing the Vegeta that replaces itself, because the biggest problem with Nappa before was that you didn't have a body that was Vegeta and was also good. Now you have it, this one, and it replaces itself, plays Monkey, you can play Raditz into Vegeta, into Nappa, and now your opponent has to defend 4 swings. It's a 20, 25, 24 leader, and 30. It's insane pressure from an empty board, and with how fast you're awakening and this searcher plus the draw, it all seems like really possible to do in the same turn. So, really good. They also have ramping with this card and Nappa. And I feel like this deck is probably slept on. I will probably put him here for now until we finish with the tier list. Jiren, you all know this deck. This deck is insane. This deck is going to gatekeep everything that is not yellow, because like you can actually like deal with it. Not even deal with it. Like now you kinda win of Jiren, which is crazy because in set 3 or 2, I don't remember when Jiren came out. I think it was FBO4 actually. You as yellow couldn't exist because Jiren just gatekept you, and now it's basically the other way around, which Jiren is good, but yellow gatekeeps it, which is crazy. This Cell deck seems really good. I have a lot of faith in Cell because they just released like a bunch of cards that were really bad, and they just went like, okay, we finished showing the bad cards. Now we're going to show you the good cards. So one cost Self Awaken -20, insanely good. Mine one cost minus no one cost Draw one and KO a 30k, which is also insane. And you have also this Cell, which is completely insane in my opinion. Like they just gave Cell the ability to basically play one turn earlier the 6 drop Goku. Of course, it's not giving you the extra life to play with, but -20 to 2, attack -10 from a body that can be recycled, it's very good. Like, it's insane. Like, this deck just got these 3 cards, like this, and this, and now it's probably contesting for one of the decks to beat in the next format. This also is really good, and this also is really good. The one cost Cell, I don't like it, and it's just insane to me. Like they just printed 3 good cards, and now the deck can actually fight back. Because we all read these cards and say they were pretty meh. To be honest, the minusing was pretty bad for what it was doing. This deck also has access to this insane searcher. It also has access to the promo 17 that plays another card, and of course it can also play the last deck, the last SCR that we got, sorry, SR, the Android 16 that just replaces itself -20 and deals with the board. It's insane. So, another deck that I wanted to talk about really extensively was Bulma. I feel like Bulma, it's like the Bulma cards are really pushed. Like if you start reading all of this, some of these are pretty meh, but then you start reading like Master Roshi, like play it, take a life, start swinging, and you draw. Okay, that's very good. You play Krillin, take a life, you play 25, you also hit for 25, it has 10k combo, it has critical. Okay, you have also Son Goku Childhood, which lets you combo for your drop, basically for free, and then you can use the effects like Master Roshi, and also it doesn't use your leader effect, so you can use it in another body the same turn. Very good. The Son Gohan engine, which is, to be honest, in play, kinda mid. It's very strong, but the deck can do stronger things. Yamcha, it's a completely absurd card. Like you can play with Bulma from for energy until you can want to play this one because this guy will just cheat out everything in the deck, and it's also all hitting for 25, which 25, to be honest, is not a good number. But then you take into account that you're comboing from drop. The problem with comboing from drop is that most of the things just combo for 10. But this deck got that new promo from the release event, which it's let me see if I can find it real quick. So it's a black promotion card, which is Goku. Let me see if we can find it really quickly. Should be in the last page because it's very new. Never mind. So let me show you this one. This card is completely insane. Like this is insanity. Like every good card in Bulma hits for 25. This gives 15k combo when you combo it from drop. So now that makes at minimum most cards that are good are hitting for 40. They are also hitting critical. They are also maybe drawing you a card, or they are also playing a double striker that is a 6 cost behind of it. This card completely fixes the deck, to say, like if I can say it like that. It fixes the numbers, makes most cards hit for 40, which is a very good number to be hitting because that means that you have to get rid of a super combo and something else, or you have to be get rid of 3 cards, I'm sorry, minimum to be dealing with Bulma swings. Bulma might not be swinging a lot, but she's swinging very high numbers. So most of the time, she's not swinging like 20, 20, 20, 20 or 20, 50, 25, 25, 30. But the attacks that she's doing, she's making them count. And these attacks will demand from you a lot of cards, or maybe they will just go through. And that's what Bulma wants to be, because it's a really weird aggro deck, I will say. I wouldn't really classify it as aggro, but it's very good pressure. Like it's very good pressure. Like there's some decks that just Bulma kind of clears, which is insane to think from a leader that actually doesn't swing. So we all thought it's what's going to be bad, but in practice, just being able to swing very high numbers, it's actually really good. So I'm going to put it actually in contestant, like very high. Actually, maybe here, I don't know. The other deck I want to talk about is Shalot. Shalot to me, it's completely insane. I know I made a guide for Giblet, but Shalot is a bit harder to play. Well, actually, quite harder to play. It's not as easy as Giblet, which is just like keep looping your energy to be like at 3 so you can break it and be into 2, and then you can do a lot of swings. Charlotte is more complicated. You have a lot of matchups that are very dependent on the drive seat. Like the person who is playing it has the control over it, and you have to be contesting people who will starve you because good players will not swing at you, will not give you the awakening when you want it, and they will pressure you. But when you can drive through that, it's a completely insane deck. Like once Charlotte stabilized, I don't think there's that many decks that can actually contest it. And it doesn't help the fact that he can play Gogeta in his Shalot deck and actually makes it more comfortable to play with because you have more 6 cost targets. You have a lot of searchers, well, not searchers, but like the things that reveal your top and draw. If they see Gogeta, they will draw another card or they will activate. So actually, Gogeta fits really well into the deck, and Gogeta basically kills this if they don't have VPA, which is weird, of course. They will have it most of the time. And there's a bunch of cards from yellow that they will get checked by Gogeta. Janemba, the restanding boost, the Babidi that gives blocker, he cannot restand things if they are rests and you have a Gogeta out. So Charlotte actually might be one of the best decks in the format. Because if the format is looking yellow and you have a deck that plays the check into yellow really well, actually, because it gives it more consistency, I think it actually might be one of the strongest decks. The only problem with Charlotte is in the early game, because as we all know, it doesn't draw. And I don't think that helps him a lot. Broly, my baby. I am going to put him in favor on it. I think Broly is really good. The problem is barrier blockers, as we all know. Uh, just turns out that if your deck is swinging like 3 times a turn and it's relying on them counting, on you defending, on you dropping your board, and you have barrier and blocker, which they both get rid of it. And maybe the strongest and most played deck will be your direct counter, which is SS Blue Vegeta. This deck is not as good as I like it to be. Like I think this deck is completely insane. Like if he didn't have any checks, he will be probably top tier. But I think the meta will be very rough against Broly. Like I played Broly in a Ultimate Battle where we fixed a friend's Vegeta deck because he was playing the zero cost blockers. I mean, sorry, the 3 cost zero combo blockers. He was playing Gohans, and we were like, brother, the deck got so many aggro tools, you don't need those anymore. You just want to go face. Me go face. So he changed the deck. We played each other in semifinals. We were both 3-0, and he steamrolled me behind two screams, like the Broly scream that kills at 3 drop and draws, and one full power. And he literally couldn't care less about me destroying his board. Like he was just replacing bodies, playing huge amount of bodies in one turn, and I just got to play one Broly before I died. Of course, I played second because I lost the die roll, and every good player knows that Broly is a go first deck. But even so, I got so steamrolled that I think even if you go first, you will have a lot of problems. And that's a huge issue because Vegeta is not the only good aggro deck in the format. You have Bulma, you have probably Kitku, it's like an aggro deck. Yeah, it's not as strong as this, but it's of course really strong. You also have the extreme minusing of Cell, which, to be honest, shouldn't be that bad, but it's still bad. And if the best deck in the format, which will probably end up being Blue Vegeta, is your direct counter, you have a lot of problems to go with. So I don't think Broly is going to be as strong as I would like. I'm of course open to be wrong. The base of this deck is insane, but I don't think the meta is very kind to it at the moment. So the other green deck that everyone talks about, Giblet. I feel like Giblet is going to be super strong. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I think the problem of him having to deal with two KO cards, two non-KOable cards in the meta that just kind of force you to play Warm Greeting or Cell, which are 4 cost Jiren and the 4 cost Rest Energy card that Majin Buu got. I don't think they are enough of a check. And I think Giblet will be one of the strongest deck. Actually, let me put Vegeta here because I think the boogeyman is Vegeta, as I said before, and the big weakness that Vegeta has is I mean, contesting a lot of swings. Of course, Vegeta like just pluses of you swinging. But if you can develop enough swings that you will have to actually force him to not use extras and use combo, you're actually like working your way in, and that's his weakness. When he starts not being able to rely on only extras to be able to defend, it gets really bad for him. Of course, now he gets to play barrier blockers, but that doesn't mean that that weakness is just goes away because he has to put like a 5k that gives blocker. That's not a lot of combo, and it's more like a break at the end game. He also has to play the 3 cost barrier, which is also a zero combo and a break in the late game. So maybe these guys like get actually they are able to contest him. I know, of course, they can also contest Shalot, which if he doesn't stylize in early game, he loses. And both of these decks have extremely strong early games, but really eh, uh, late games. Of course, Giblet, it's it has a more potent late game because he is able to just spam 5 cost Goku lag that removes anything, and also it's a crit swing. But those don't matter as much when your opponent is playing barrier stuff. Of course, it's insane against Charlotte, but my biggest point of my biggest reason to put them in the top is because they can deal with a bunch of things that the decks that are strongest do. And also, these two get to play with extreme high sizes, hand sizes. Like they just get to plus of their aggro. Giblet draws with almost every card that he is playing. Maybe not all of them, but if he's taking lives of them, he's basically drawing. And the combo of Chalet plus Golden Freezer, it's two swings that at minimum are like 30 and 25 on like more of a optimal way, it will be like 35-30, which is a lot of cards to be demanding from your opponent. And they both replace themselves in hand. So it's really good. And this guy can just play Raditz, draw Vegeta, play the big monkey, pop an energy, play Nappa. These two guys are doing extremely good lines when they are not losing the hand sizes. So these decks might be the response to Vegeta. I have high faith on them. So Baby. I think Baby is actually pretty good right now because Blue is basically dead. Without being able to play Pilaf, the control version of Blue, which is the one that Baby hates the most, it's probably gone. And for good, actually. Because you're going to be playing an extremely aggro meta, which is full of 4 drops, which this guy, to be honest, is the only one that can really reliably take them off the board while not losing a lot of resources and not being uncomfortable. So aside from this guy, there's a lot of decks in the format that are just playing like a bunch of stuff that is really good. And Baby gets to play either aggro, which I think is really strong now because Heloku is gone, but he can play also mid-range. And right now I think Baby mid-range is really strong because he can just be a pseudo Gogeta who is also returning his good cards to his hand. So he's not ever like losing combo, and the fact that he is able to play stuff, remove with you can play, for example, Monkey plays Trunks. Monkey gets rid of something. You swing with Trunks. You swing with your leader. You combo Trunks. And now you did 3 swings. You removed something, and you got 20 combo back to your hand. So those type of plays, I think they are really good right now. And also being able to play Monkey in archetype, it's really good for him. So I really think Baby is going to make a resurgence because Blue it's mostly gone. When I want to put Vegito here, I want to put the aggro Vegito, which is probably going to have representation because their biggest weakness was Boo, discarding all their cards. But swinging for 40 is not as good if you're having to deal with a barrier blocker that just revives by discarding one. So I don't think he's going to be that good. I think Broly, even so, I've seen the copium with the stage, with the amount of draw, with 30k swings from the leader, then 45-45, being able to return your lives. I know that stuff is super fun to play with. I don't think it's as good as like we would like to it to be. As a Broly fan, it sucks, but that's how it is. Also, Green Gohan has the same problem. You have problems getting to your big win con, which is the 7 cost Gohan. Of course, Bandai made it so much easier with the 5 drop Gohan that just cheats out the good Gohan. But I don't think it's enough because the problem with ramp decks is that the ramp is not as good as these guys. And these guys can play all your cards better than you. They get to play defensive, they get to play aggressive, they get to play however they want, and they get to ramp much, much, much faster than you. So these guys, of course, they will be here. I will just try to order it in a second, but I don't think they are good. I think I have a small faith on Piccolo. I've seen the amount of copion that people are putting into this deck, but this deck got one card that makes your sixth turn very good. The problem with Piccolo is the same that these guys have. You have to arrive to your sixth cost turn. I know that you're ramping, but you're not you're not defending against Vegeta, my guy. You're not even playing removal. I played full on removal against more than one Vegeta, and even so, I was getting wrecked. So I don't see how Piccolo can even survive those type of turns because they don't have removal until they go big, you know. At least Broly can play Scream and full power because you're comfortable playing at two lives with Broly. That's actually what you want to do. So no thanks. I don't think it's really good. Uh, Goku, Goku, Nameku, however you want to say it, very good. I think his biggest check was Buu also. He gets to revive, but his strongest point was actually being able to beat the Boogeyman quite consistently. Actually, he was, in my opinion, the biggest Heroku counter because you will play 3 cost Frieza, pop stuff, you could make giant hand sizes, you will punish a Heroku for actually doing small swings at you because if he wanted to make a small swing, you just let it through and he activated all your good cards. Full power, you could play the 7 drop that it's a double strike. It was an insane counter to Halo Q in my opinion. The problem is he got checked too hard via Boo because the whole point of this deck was playing playing slow or fast, but the end goal was the same. You're going to do your awaken turn, you get to swing 30, you draw a million cards. And this guy punishes decks that draws a lot of cards. So yeah, not very good before. I have a lot of faith into it now, but I think that the new decks actually power creep him out of the game at the moment. I want to be wrong, but I'm not quite sure about Goku at the moment. I don't know how he deals with barrier blockers because like decks that want to play a really big card at the moment. I don't think they are going to be very favored into these two guys, which things to be they seem to be like the guys who will be running the game at the moment. I would like to be wrong about that, but it really looks from my testing like yellow is going to be the big boogeyman in this meta. This deck fucking sucks. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I hate androids. I think it has a cute interaction with Babidi because you can actually hit the barrier Babidi, which is a bit funny. Like you can just play stage, you can swing into it, and it's a very actually reliable counter. The problem is that you have to play this leader because it's only Android 18. If it was Android, Cell will be like here because he actually gets to play the broken cards that he got. But Android 18 doesn't have much of that. That's a bit sad. I think this guy might become a little better. I'm not quite sure where to put this guy, if here or here, but the fact that he got a card that makes everything that the deck wants to do, sorry, I think you probably have seen it. If not, I'll put it here. It's the new yellow Vegeta, which he makes your leader crit. He awakens your leader, which was like one of the biggest struggles of the deck. And he also, I think it gives you crit or power, maybe both. I don't know, but that card seems really pushed. Like they want to make Vegeta really good. You know what? I'm just going to, I think it's here because it's like the newest. Yeah, this one. Yeah. This one, like 10k combo, give crit to your leader, and you take one life. This card makes the leader swings matter a bit more, and it fixes the problem of you not being able to awaken as reliably, like when you want it, which is fast. But I'm not sure that's going to help a lot because the other yellow decks are doing much more like annoying stuff to deal with. Beerus, Critliers are probably dead. I think this guy is really cute. He has very good cards, but I don't know. They can still barrier blocker your Crit leader, and it doesn't even get pressure now. This guy also, it's very bad. This guy, actually, I have a lot of faith in this guy. I think like the Shin that he got is really good. I think like he can beat Broly. Which, to be fair, I want to put Broly here. Like, it feels so bad to put such a good deck that is just like a gatekeeper of the meta in faith on it, because the meta is not good against it. Because, for example, he just beats the new starter decks. I feel like Broly can beat Charlotte if Charlotte. It's like it depends on what tools can Broly use in that game. But if you're running Doctor Brief, you should have a constant answer to their trunks. And if they play Gogeta in a turn, this deck is basically not doing anything else. Most Charlotte builds are not even running reliable double strikes. Some of them are even cutting double strikes, which is insane. But I think that's not good enough against Charlotte. And I think if Broly like just gets to go first, he just murders Charlotte. To be honest, he murders it. Also, the same with Giblet. I think Giblet doesn't have enough pressure as fast as you would want it to beat Broly because actually that's kind of wrong. I think you can, but it's hard. It's hard. I mean, I might be biased because I think I'm pretty decent with Broly. So I've beaten a bunch of Giblets a bunch of times, and it doesn't seem as good, man. Because if they try to go aggro, they have to swing. You so just swing at board. If they want to do it with Vegeta, that's another theme. Because Vegeta gets to awaken super quick now. So I think because this guy is putting like two bodies at turns or maybe three and searching all his cards while he's not swinging, like he's not forcing the swing, and this guy needs to swing for things to happen. I think this guy is much better into Broly. And also, Broly is just a gatekeeper deck. If you can't deal with Broly turn 4, you probably lose. So I'm going to put him up here now. Goku Black, actually, I have a bit of faith in Goku Black. He's, in my opinion, the only deck right now that can actually play the 7 cost or less, I mean 7 cards or less engine in like the decks because he gets to like he gets to play with 7 cards while having crit, which is pretty decent because in early game yellow getting crit it hurts a lot. For example, I remember some people tried Goku Black against Buu because they felt like it was doing like it was doing it like I'm going to change the tiers really quick. I'm so sorry. But they could actually make Boost uncomfortable because they want to awaken, but if you're not giving them cards via awakening them, the deck loses a bit of their strength. And Goku Black is really good into that. And he can also play slow and fast now. There's a really famous guy which is called K6 Maku, I think, in the sim, and he's like number 30 in the ladder, something like that. He's like top 20 now, and he's only playing Ohulag, and he's playing a lot of builds for it. I've actually played against him, tested his builds, and actually, I think I have a lot of faith into it. So let me just reorder these things now that I've gone into my thoughts. I think this guy this guy stays here because I'm not quite sure, but he's probably going to be really good. I feel I from my testing and from my friends talking about it, I think it's going to be pretty good. Actually, one of my friends, shout out to Flavio, he got fourth on Latam finals, which is the ones that gave us the world champion, playing aggro baby. So if there's someone that I can actually trust that baby is going to be good, it's him. Even so, if I normally have the advantage against him because I'm mostly a blue player, I think that he pilots the deck probably better than anyone right now. I think that Bulma is going to probably be high tier. I think Goku is going to probably be high tier. I think Vegeta is going to be at the top of probably high tier. I think these guys are the trusted ones. I think Boo deserves to be here just because he got all the good support from the guys. And well, let me just watch this. I think it's like a decent placing. I'm actually liking it, but it feels off because I feel like these two tiers may basically being the same. Like these three tiers, I mean, this tier it's the trusted ones. I think these guys will probably run the meta. These are the guys that probably think that they will be good but need more testing. These guys are actually either good decks or good decks against these bulls in particular, which I think it will be probably most people. So the distance between these two tiers shouldn't be as strong as these guys. Actually, I think I may put like a tier in between them, like something like that, because I feel like these two tiers are really good, but these ones are like more of like a copium thing. I think Piccolo can be really good, but I haven't seen how he survives an early game, where the top, like the top of the meta is going to be so fast. So yeah, I think in retrospective, I think Blue Vegeta is going to be either the best deck in the game or probably the deck to beat while being the second one because this one is just going to be annoying by nature. But this guy is going to probably run the game at one point until we optimize all the lists. And probably when you go to a tournament, you will want to be like, okay, what deck can I play that is not a scoop into saying Blue Vegeta? That's the only reason why I'm putting Broly so low. Because I think like Broly has good matchups against this, no. The kinda, yes, no, absolutely no. So Broly is really strong, but he gets gated by the probably the best deck in the game. Majin Buu, the true and trusted, I feel like the deck is going to be really good. We all know that. We all read the cards completely insane. And he gets to play the old stuff, which is mostly just the double strike that cheats out more bullshit for you to deal with. Shalot, very good yellow counter, in my opinion. Very good yellow check. Probably going to be top tier if people optimize their lists and know how to play it, because this is not a pick up and play deck. This is definitely like one of those decks that you have to actually make game plans for every leader to deal with, kind of like Halo Q was, but of course not tier 0 in my opinion. uh, Actually, Fat Boo, pretty good. The stuff with cheating things, freezing things for free with stage, and him being able to just play an absolute bunch of cards for basically free because it's at the end of the turn. It's really good. Giblet, trusted, really good. I don't really know how good this guy will be, but the fact that he can actually have, if you build it like a really strong early game, which is what you want to have against this guy, you want to swarm their board, is of course not the best swarmer in the game, but it's really good. Vegeta, same deal, really good early game ramp, which is important. Nappa can actually attack now. The new cards are very pushed and really fucking good. I love it. Baby, this deck, it was never bad, in my opinion. It was just very bad into Halo Q, which was the reason why he disappeared from the meta. And he has now access to Chi-Chi. So I think either the aggro or the mid-range versions are going to make a resurgence. Really good. Bulma. Bulma is a deck that lives or dies by the promo that they got. If you don't play the promo, this deck is here. If you play the promo, this deck is actually very good. And you have access to Chi-Chi, which people thought it wasn't. going to be like that. But apparently, if you combo Chi-Chi, she's on the combo area, so you can still go and pop off Bulma. You can play Chi-Chi, combo the good Goku promo. You're now hitting for 25 more than you should be from one card, and you still haven't used your leader. Very, very, very good deck, in my opinion. But it's going to be hard to play. Uh, Goku, the same deal. I think builds right now are not optimized, but I have high fates on this deck. You will probably be playing a 6-drop Vegito now. Now that I opened the MetaFi plug, I'm going to probably put a bunch of lists over there that I think that are going to be decent for day one, thanks to tomorrow being able to uh, be opened to manga because Bandai is releasing the beloved manga booster that seems to give a lot of traction to the deck. I've seen in the WhatsApp groups over here in Chile, a lot of people actually are coming back to the game, which is awesome. The game is in the best place it has ever been probably right now because manga is amazing. The meta is very diverse. Even if you see three bulls that are yellow, they are played very differently. This is like mid-range. This is more aggro-ish. This is control. So yeah. Also, this guy, every one of you knows Boo. We all hate him. He's nerfed now, so I don't think he's going to be as good. Open to be wrong about that because I've been seeing some good players actually hyping him up, but I don't think he has as much of a pressure as he had before from an empty board because he lost Babidi. Broly, Broly is really good. Just he gets checked by the best deck in the game. Probably. And this guy also is probably going to check it. This guy is also probably going to check it very hard because for him, barrier blockers are really, really, really annoying because you're just swinging like 2 times a turn. Then they are getting freezed or they probably don't even get to swing. Cell, I have high fates for the deck. Maybe not that high. He gets pushed a lot by their good support. I think Jiren should be here. Actually, no, because he gets checked really bad by yellow decks. Never mind. I just thought, oh, he actually kind of destroys these two decks, and maybe this one, and maybe this one kind of can swing against Jiren. But these three just completely annihilate him. So true and trusted. We all know Jiren. Jiren, really good. Close your brain. Play 4-drop Jiren. If they can't deal with it, you won. Congratulations, you're a very good player. Janemba, Janemba probably going to be really good because he's really good, especially into yellow mirrors now that Boo is gone. Because the biggest part of Boo being good against Janemba was the fact that Janemba kinda wants to start gathering a really big hand and then awakening and then negating your stuff, making them come rested, freezing them, playing bodies for free basically because he's playing, I don't know, a 2-drop, a Janemba returns 1 energy, he attacks, now he didn't even pay a cost for it. Really good. And he can always starve you by paying 2, make something rested, swing to it, you don't get your awaken now. Gogeta is actually going to be here. Gogeta, I feel like he's really good into yellow decks for what I explained about Shalot too. Just that Shalot kinda plays Gogeta better than Gogeta itself, which is pretty funny because he's on the fucking face. Droids, I saw a lot of Japanese players hyping droids. I know droids has been a menace for a pretty long time. Droids, if you play ladder and you're god rank, you have probably seen the amount of people that refuse to let this deck die. They have played Dr. Brief, I-Beam, Stage, all of kinds of things just to deal with Halo Kuambu because the deck is a ginormous toolbox. Because you just need a between quotations, a small engine to make it function, and you get to play with a bunch of toolboxy things. But with such an aggro meta that I've seen with, and also this guy just being able to play 6-cost Frieza behind 3-cost Vegeta, you can't get your stuff. Now your cards are all vanilla. It's very good. Then you swing with Broly, he rests it. Good, good night. Your big bomb didn't do anything. So yeah, I don't think Droids is as good as Japanese players are thinking it's going to be. Goku, I have high faith on it. if the meta turns up to be aggro, this guy is probably one of the best, if not the best, just aggro go face deck. And if you're not running removal, you're not running high combo counts, this guy just murders you. This guy, I don't like playing this guy without Pilaf. He lost his early game. I know you can play without it because you're going to draw a bunch of cards, but I don't think it's as good because you're playing a slow deck against a meta where the good decks are playing a 4-drop Frieza that takes 2 cards out of you, and that card alone was the reason why this guy was beating you in the first place. And now you have 3 guys cosplaying as him. Not good. Piccolo, extremely bad faith on it. Doesn't do anything until he reaches to 6. You're not playing cards, you're not removing, you're probably making a huge hand size, you're ramping, you're not dealing with their board, or they are murdering you. These guys, murdering you. These guys are murdering you. Vegeta probably is going to appear when he gets crit. Nameku, high fates on it, but I feel like if you're not doing something completely broken like Broly, you're not draw on your stop draw when awakened decks are going to be pretty bad. And Jiren is the exception because he gatekeeps so many decks just by existing, kind of like Broly does. The problem that these 2 guys have is that these decks are just murdering them because one is weak to barrier blockers, the other one is weak to 4-drop 30k Frieza with barrier, which is probably the best card in the game. So, anyways, I know I rambled a lot. This is the very first video I made about this game, and probably it's the first time most people actually get to hear my voice. So, this is going to be my tier list. I'm probably going to be very wrong about mostly the placements on things where things are like maybe this guy ends up being super good. He doesn't care that yellow Vegeta exists. Who knows? But at least the way I talked about the decks, I'm pretty certain about it. I've done my testing, and I think these guys are going to be really good over here. I'm not quite sure about these guys, just sure that this guy dies. And Halo Q is my baby. This guy gave me my top, and before I actually knew how good the deck was, I actually got miles better after finals, which was a bummer because I wish I was that good when I played finals. But anyways, this guy, in my opinion, can't contest in the meta because these 2 decks are very high checks into it. This guy hit just completely murders Heloku. You do your game plan, he plays 2-drop hit. Now your game plan is gone and you lost all the cards that actually make your deck function. And you can't reliably actually play against like a 6-drop every turn. And Broly was actually one of your worst matchups before. Like Broly was an insanely bad matchup. You had to play around a bunch of stuff. You had to swing at the 8 cost Broly because you didn't want to give cards to Broly. And there's another deck that actually does that while also doing a toolbox. Because matching Vegeta against Heiloku is insane. Like you just play a 4 cost, well, a 6-drop for 4, swing 30 to Videl. She's going to probably die. Pew! Now you kill 2 drops and he gets to cry. It's the deck is probably very mean. The decks in the meta are very mean to him, and this guy has the extra that just says goodbye Heloku, goodbye Tukos Video, goodbye Vanilla, sorry for Beetles, and all the 1-drops. And they go to the bottom of the deck, which is miles worse than them getting KO'd. Because even so you could recover them, you don't have Pilaf anymore. You have Videl, and now she's on the bottom of the deck, which means that you will probably get to play her again, but you don't have recursion anymore. So you just lost all the. I don't know how to say that. Like you just lost your game plan that you were actually building. Like, anyways, he's going to drop everything to the bottom of the deck. That's completely insane for Heloku. He gets murdered. So this is my opinion. I will not ramble anymore. I know I probably did a lot of laps into the same things. I'm decent in English. That's actually my work. My job is to translate for people. I actually speak Spanish and Serbian. So sorry if I mumbled a lot, but I just wanted to make sure my point got across. Thank you so much for watching. I will be leaving my links below, and you can also message me on Discord and Metafy. Uh, I'll be doing more stuff in Metafy now that the manga set is coming. I'm probably going to drop a bunch of lists for people to try out for the first day of manga online. So thank you so much for watching, and have an amazing day. Subscribe if you want, and peace. Have a nice release event online. Bye bye.